and then you gotta give me this. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. This is my first video, hopefully not the last. Bought some computer parts for an upgrade build that I've been doing, and I figured this would be a better time than never. A better anytime. Better than any time before. This is the perfect time to make a video. I'm gonna build this computer so good. So, got a couple boxes from Newegg here. Probably shouldn't turn this one upside down. This is the one that has all the good stuff in it. This guy is the case. So now you've seen the box, and I'm gonna open them up, show you the boxes within the boxes, and we're gonna start putting it together. Get to the good stuff here. Start with the CPU, which is a Ryzen 2700X. I was a little impatient waiting for the 3000 line. Everyone was like, just wait, it's a week away. But I was super impatient and I had the money, so I figured I'd just go for it. I'm coming from an Intel platform, which is an i5-4690K. Slight overclock on it, but with doing the video editing and I'm doing streaming on Twitch now, I need a little more oomph with the CPU. So I upgraded. Ryzen seemed like the best value. I got basic Corsair Vengeance RAM to go along with it. It's 2 8-gig sticks, so it's 16 gigs altogether. DDR4, 3200 megahertz. Wow, I've never had RAM this fast before. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but I hope it does. What else we got here? Well, this is tiny. This is a Corsair MP300. Wow, that's a mouthful. M.2 NVMe PCIe Gen 3 X2 SSD, 240 gigabytes. This is gonna be my hard drive that I'll install Windows on, so it'll have enough to install the OS and have a little extra space for afterwards. So this should last me a while. I'm saying so a lot. Moving on, got a modest PSU to juice things up. Corsair, there's kind of a trend with this build. This build is like 90% Corsair. Unintentional, worked out that way. Will probably make a fanboy out of me. So 650 watts PSU, not much else to say about it. Don't know a whole lot about PSUs. I wish I did, and I would tell you more if I did, but I don't. So that's all you're getting with that one. And then all this is going with the MSI B450 Tomahawk. All this is going with the B450 Tomahawk, which people said is like a pretty solid B450 board. I didn't want to splurge too much for the X470s. This seemed like a good budget value. I got this for like 115, I think, shipped from Newegg. So it's pretty good. It should be fast enough to, you know, make the CPU run as well as it can and all that fun techno jargon. That's it for box number one. Let's go to box number two. Boy, they do not make this easy. This is a big boy. This is the Corsair 270R. This is, I don't know if controversial is an overstatement. A lot of people don't like this case because it has the USB ports and the power button. All that stuff is on the side, which is a little unconventional. Obviously, they're usually on the top with most cases. But the way my setup is right now, I have the tower sort of across my desk over here, and it's a little bit out of reach. These ports will actually be facing me when I set it up, which will be nice because I won't need to, you know, run super long USB cables or anything like that. It's got a pretty basic side is tempered glass, be nice and see-through. I didn't go crazy on the RGB with this build. I think it's like mostly just red lights. I think I have like one red fan and the Prism Wraith or the Prism Spire, whichever CPU cooler comes with the Ryzen is also red LED, or maybe it's RGB. Doesn't matter to me either way, but lights are pretty and we like them. This thing is huge. I'm gonna clear off a space and we will get to putting this thing together. It all begins at the motherboard. So I started by taking the CPU out of the packaging and getting it situated in the socket, being very careful to make sure everything is lined up as it should be, getting it clamped down and ready for the cooler to go on top, clamping that nice and tight as well. I would eventually come to take it back off and reapply some thermal paste, but that's an unrelated story. Get the RAM situated in there next, making sure you hear that nice satisfying snap so you know it's set, at which point you move on to the SSD. This was my first M2 drive, so it took me a little hot minute to figure out how to screw it in, but it worked in the end, and that's what counts. Get that all tightened down a little bit, make sure nothing's loose. Moving on to the power supply next, putting that in the bottom shroud of the case and threading some of the wire through, making sure it's all nice and tight with the screws. Then it's time to get the motherboard situated, making sure it lines up with the IO shielding, and you don't want any pieces sticking out and poking you. Plugging everything in here with the motherboard power connector along with everything else that goes with it. And then we install the graphics card, which was from my previous build. It's an MSI Gaming X GTX 1080. God, that is a mouthful. Getting the power connectors plugged in, flipping the switch, making sure we got some electricity, and hoping she lights up. And lo and behold, it does. Making sure we boot nice and quick. I got my USB flash drive for Windows 10 up and running, so I'm gonna get that installed, and I will be back and let you know the results. But boy, does it look good. 2-day update. We finished building it. It works. It looks, sounds, feels great, and overall build was a success. Cool. There's like a solid 5 seconds of footage. I haven't had a whole lot of time to test a wide range of games or run a whole bunch of benchmarks, but the things that I have done so far have looked really promising compared to what I'm upgrading from. Overall, games are just like a lot snappier. There isn't that like weird micro stutter that some games get. That's just gone. Rendering videos, this was all made on the new build. So fast, so smooth, no problems whatsoever. Would definitely recommend the Ryzen platform if you're looking for an upgrade, and I will post the specs for my old build as well as for my new build so you can compare them. And I hope you guys had fun watching along with this. Got my Twitch, Twitter, Insta, everything's down there or up there or over here. Everything's like down in this region. If you want to check that stuff out. Again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you around. Bye. No, I need a better way to end it. No, I don't. Come on back soon. Come home to me.